Hey, what's happening everybody, and welcome back to Dab Play. Today we're going to be taking a look at Neon District, which is actually a browser game. Now this is quite an interesting one. It's something I stumbled upon the other day, and it is quite interesting, although as you'll see as we go through, it does have a lot of potential, but is very much in probably what is the early stages of development, I would say, as what you can do is quite limited, though it can be quite fun and it's definitely strategic. So when you get in, the first thing you're going to want to do is probably jump here into this basically learn to play guide. It's quite a long lengthy document, but it will show you where to click. But essentially everything you're going to want to do is in that neon pizza area and in delivery agents. You can see there's a few boxes on this front page. We'll get into those in just a bit, as well as the other pieces of information that you get. But most importantly, let's start here in the characters. So what you're going to need to do when you start off on a brand new account is essentially assign yourself 4 new characters. You can pick any of the 6 that are on here. They all have different attributes which you can open up from a menu on the right hand side just above their head. And when you want to go and purchase any of these, what you'll be doing is going straight to the top, and where it says buy, you can use a free token to get the ones that you want rather than having to pay for it, which is what I've got here. And once you've done that, what you'll be able to do is go in and play the game, which will enable you to get this stuff called Neon, which is essentially your credits, and you can use that to open these loot crates and get items for your characters, and the rarities of what you can get is shown below. What is interesting is I did see these on OpenSea the other day going for various amounts of mana, so there must be a market somewhere for these. But before we get into that, let's have a quick look at the characters. So when you have assembled a team and you've put them in, you'll get various information about each one. It will show you their stats, it will show you any items that you've equipped to them, and it will show you their level and how common or rare those items or characters are. It will also show you any boosted items or stats, which basically comes from in here where you equip the items that you have got. So these are the ones that come out of the loot crates. You won't have any when you start, but as you start unlocking those crates, you do get items in there, and each of those you can assign to various parts of the body, and going through, it also goes through to weapons as well, and you'll be using those weapons when it comes to battles. But we'll cover the game itself very shortly. I just wanted to go through and show you what each of them look like, and then you can go back and you can change your characters, and you'll be assigning items to each of your characters as and when you get them to boost their stats and give them more chances of winning in a fight. And on the card here you can see some special attacks that the characters have got, which you'll use in the battle mode. Again, moving into my second character here, you can see some more equipped items. Just giving you a bit of a flavour here as to what these items look like. Now, I don't think these items are NFTs. I haven't seen anything in OpenSea accounts. There's certainly no linked wallet required for this game. What I have noticed though is that you can send and gift items to people, so I guess what people are doing online is they're unlocking the rarer items here, heading over to OpenSea and creating them as an NFT, and then when you buy it they'll send you, I guess, the JPEG of the item that you've bought, and then they'll come into this and ask you for your details to send the item over to you. But some of the fashion does look quite interesting, quite futuristic, quite funky. I was quite impressed with the style of this game in that it does look quite like Borderlands, I think would be the closest I'd align it to. And again, when you come into your inventory you can see all of your items, whether they're equipped or not, at a glance. I haven't got anything in the weapons category as of yet. I haven't got anything in the shells. I don't know what that actually does yet. And the boosts, again, I haven't got anything in there. So it's still quite a new account for me. I've just played this a little bit to get a flavour so that I could give you a rough guide. But essentially what you're going to want to do is go into those battles, but before you do any of that, this is where part of the game takes place. So this is in the delivery agent section. What you're going to be doing is creating a team name for your team. You're going to be assigning the characters that you've unlocked to a team. And then what you're going to be doing is sending them out on what is essentially a pizza delivery run. When you go into this game, you can pick something called tiers. Tier 1 just basically means that it will go ahead and it will do everything for you. There won't be any battles. You won't run the risk of losing any of your gains from the deliveries. If you pick Tier 2, the gains are considerably more, but you run the risk of being ambushed, which is where a team can attack you at the end of your delivery. You can see from these, you can see the sort of neon that you'd be getting out of a delivery shift, and the delivery shifts can be anything from 7 hours to 8 hours. So this kind of is a case of you kind of set your team up on the delivery, you let them get on with it. You don't need to come back at the end of each one of these to cash it in. You can just log back in whenever you want to and collect whatever your team have delivered, although if you are on that tier 2, then expect to be losing some. If you go into the progress tab at the top here, you can see some sort of like quests that you can do. You can click the button and it will take you to the area where you can complete those quests. You'll see things like, now I've played a few, it's asking me to attempt an ambush next. But what we'll do now is let's go into the gear and I'll show you what it looks like when you do get a loot pack. I've managed to save up 2 loot crates worth here. So we'll open up the first one. You can see the green are kind of like uncommon items and the common ones are the grey looking ones there. So I've got a couple of head wigs and yeah, a couple of other items there. So we've got some chest pieces and we'll just buy another one. It's been a bit of a bust, there's no rares or anything in this, but this one's a bit different. At least I've got a weapon now, so that'll be interesting to use, as well as some sleeves and some headgear as well to try. So we'll go into the character section as I was showing you before, and then pick somebody that we're going to equip something to. So this guy has only really got bottoms and a top, but we can go into things like weapons and give this guy a weapon. Is it a guy? Is it a girl? I think they're kind of unisex avatars, and I think as you equip items to them, they will take a look probably either more of a male or a female. And let's go into, let's go into Doc. Let's see if we can give Doc something. So this is the stock Doc who hasn't got anything on. Nothing equipped to him at the moment, so we'll give him some hair and we'll give him a chest piece. And I think somewhere I got some arms out of those packs, didn't I? So we can equip him with some arms. Let's colour coordinate him with some more green, I think. Or should we go different? Let's go with these. Oh, they're quite interesting looking ones. Quite weird. So yeah, and we haven't got any more weapons to put on him. So we'll just try this girl as well. So she has got the helm already. The red is showing me that if I equip that item, it's going to be like less or more detrimental. In some areas, the blue shows it will be better. Kind of like what you'd expect really with any kind of game like this. We'll give her some arms to go with that green top she's already got. She's looking good. She's going to get cold though. She needs some trousers or some pants. I have to try and unlock some of those next. So that is kind of everybody equipped. Just quickly check through this guy, see if there's anything I can give him. I mean, he's pretty decked out really. I gave him some of these really weird trouser things that just look like blood veins on his legs. I think he's pretty much got everything that he needs. That's not going to improve him at all. Neither's that. Neither's that. And there's no weapons, there's only the other one. So we only got one weapon so far. So now that we've done all of that, I'll just show you these other points here. So what you can do is once you've got your team available, providing they're not on a delivery, that's where you will attempt your ambush. The third option down here, this is all like essentially hits. This is where teams have been ambushed in their deliveries, and there's an option when you do get ambushed to take out a hit on the team that ambushed you, and I guess that's what pops up here. And if your team are strong enough, then you can go and try and take on that ambush. And here there's the most successful delivery team, so I'm guessing this is just showing you the most that people have got out of one delivery, because otherwise I wouldn't say that those totals are very high at all. So I'm guessing it's what they've got in one go, but there's various different measures there, but you can see everyone's got very different items. So there must be quite a few in the game. I don't know how many different types and styles there are, but there must be quite a few. So when we go into battle then, so I've not done a battle before, but for the sake of today I will do one and show you what it's all about. So we're going to ready up our team, and yeah, we can see there's some information there about battling, and we're going to start it up. And it's going to load up something like this, which is a team-based turn-based combat. So what you're going to do is it's going to show you the turn selection up the top, and what you're going to do is be clicking in the base attack box to do a basic attack, and then you're going to click the target of who you want to attack. I imagine probably the heavy at the back with the big gun is probably going to be the toughest one to take down. So in this combat I've decided to go for her first. You'll see also though that in the ND Neon District boxes there are other items popping up which are like your special attacks. So as you go through and you create like new special attacks, you can do things like heal the members of your team, or you can like stun other characters, or use abilities that you might not normally be using. Now I think as you do this you do gain like additional energy points, like I've seen on some of them, especially for like Doc and for the hacker, there's like different tech bonuses and things like that it will say if you use this it's going to give you like +10 or something, which I think then will unlock other attacks as you go through the battle. But I've decided to speed this up a little bit because this battle did go on for quite some time. I think it was nearly about 6 or 7 minutes, I think, of consistently clicking through and picking the character you want to attack. So it does take a little while to get through. It is very laborious, and at this point I think when I went down to 3 I did think there is no way on earth that I'm going to win this. But yeah, you can see as you go through, like certainly the girl at the back with the skull, she seems pretty good in terms of her like abilities and her attacks. She had some pretty good ones. I remember at one point there was a shield that I could throw up on one of my characters, and Doc can do things like sacrifice his health to do more damage, or he can heal allies and things like that. So I think it will take a bit of getting used to just to know what the different attacks do and which ones you want to use when, and I'm sure there is probably a strategy. When you look into the stats of each of the characters, it is going to give you an indication of, so for example the hacker, it will tell you what they're going to be strong against as opposed to who they're going to be weak against. So I imagine that the heavies, who rely quite a lot on technology to do their attacks, they might take more damage and be weaker to perhaps the hacker, and like the main like attackers, which are called ghosts, I think they are. They might be more susceptible to the ones that are a bit more like, well, I don't know, like a bit stealthy. I think there was one that had like a stealthy attribute. But somehow you can see on here, through shielding and healing my characters, I managed to win on this first practice battle, which was quite fun. It's quite good. So it's something that I probably will give another go once I've had a bit more time to look into it. But yeah, so in a nutshell, that essentially is Neon District, or as it is at the moment. There are some other bits and pieces on here for you to look through about how you do your upgrades. But I also spotted this send referrals here. So if anybody does want to use my referral code, I'll put that in, and that would be really kind of you. That would give me some juice. I'm sure you'll get something out of it as well to upgrade different elements of the game as well. Well, that's all from me. If you have found this content useful and of value today, please do smash that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Take care out there.